What an impressive guy. Pro's pro. His preparation has already been noticeable. The way he carries himself and goes about his business has just been awesome. He's a great human being, and somebody we're really fortunate to add to the mix.
Just talk about the playmaker that he is and just what he brings to this offense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's dynamic with the ball in his hands, right? And so finding ways to get him the football, is going to be fun to do. And just I think his understanding of the game, his savviness, his football IQ, knowing where he fits in zones, knowing how to attack defenses, diagnosing coverages, I think that's all, a premium.
Realistically, him coming in, on short notice here, how much can he contribute on Sunday?
I'll let the process play itself out in terms of where he's at physically with all that stuff. I know that mentally he's working very, very hard to understand and digest, the game plan. So what I've seen of him thus far, nothing would surprise me.
With his knowledge of Aaron and the offense, just kind of, is he ahead of where most guys might be, where they come to a new team and they have to kind of fit in?
Yeah, certainly ahead of the curve. Being able to do the Spanish to English, with Aaron, I think is something that, is really going to benefit him. They can even go back to old signals they had together to help remind him of things, so they have that connection and that chemistry. But again, it's his work ethic and the way that he's, dove right into the playbook, but also the room and his communication with Garrett. That's the stuff that makes me think he can succeed quickly.
As far as playmaking standpoint, also play calling, just what is your process of trying to keep everybody happy? Because there's a lot of people to try to feed in this offense now.
Yeah, just tell Aaron throw to the open guy. That's the easy part. No, it's it's as a chef, you would want a bunch of ingredients, right? You wouldn't want to stand in a kitchen and be looking for something in the cupboard. So it's a good problem to have that we have all these really cool ingredients. I think you have to be intentional about making sure guys understand where they fit in the plan, because then they get ownership of it and they can get excited about certain plays or they can get excited about their role. And that's the challenge for a coaching staff, right? You have all these very talented weapons. Now it's figuring out how you're going to make sure that everybody feels their piece of the pie.
Have those conversations happen where you let certain guys know their role in the plan or how they fit in there?
Sure. I mean, that should have happened before Davante was here, right? Everybody should understand what their role in the game plan is and where we're trying to attack defenses. Obviously, you add somebody, with the resume that Davante has, and it's another mouth to feed, so to speak. But, I think our guys have done a great job over the last couple of weeks of trying to figure out where do I fit in this plan and where am I going to get my playmaking opportunities.
What about Todd? What about Mike Williams? Have you had to talk with him about his role? Obviously, there's a lot of speculation now. First of all, is he here today?
Yeah, I mean, I just saw Mike out on the walkthrough field.
Okay, so have you talked to him about his role now that Davante?
Yeah, we use different personnel groupings. We find different ways to tag guys to get different combinations of receivers in there and that. And so I know that he's seen that and felt that. That's, again, a part of the ingredients, right? We have an accomplished wide receiver room right now, and, I hope everybody feels that there's been some intentionality and purpose in how we're putting the plan together.
I just want to get your thoughts on just kind of protection as of late, too. Just kind of what is your assessment there, how things have been going?
Yeah, I think we took some strides forward on Monday night, from some of the hiccups that we had. But I would say that there isn't a man in that offensive meeting room that feels like there weren't plays he wish he would have played better. And so as you go across the five up front, man, they battled their tails off and had some really good reps. But they also had some reps where I'm sure a few of them, would wish they had a do-over, wish they had a mulligan. So that goes for me as a play caller. I'm not going to be perfect. But if we strive to improve on the things that we identify as repeated issues, I think we'll be okay.
Why wasn't Mike practicing yesterday?
It was listed as a personal reason. I'll leave it up to Mike and Coach Albrecht to address that with you.
Do you have any concerns about his mind being focused on locked in?
I don't. No, Mike's a pro.
Aaron had said that Williams ran the wrong route on the interception late, or is he supposed to be on that play?
I think Aaron addressed that. He talked about a two vertical scheme, and where we're looking to attack two verticals. I'm not going to live in dead yesterday, so I'm going to focus on the future.
So just your perspective, just looking at the Steelers defense, just kind of the problems that they present.
Yeah, how much time do you have? They have some really talented players. They have elite players on every level of the defense, right? So you have to figure out a way that you're going to handle some guys up front, and then you got to figure out ways that you're going to make sure you get to linebacker level defenders. And then they got Fitzpatrick and Porter in the back end, and playmakers all over the place. And so if you get too enamored with trying to focus on those guys, you lose sight of what your responsibilities are. We have to go play fast. We have to get to our landmarks and be where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there, and then let the matchups take care of themselves. Obviously, that comes with some intentionality and purpose in terms of making sure people don't wreck the game. We have great respect for the guys on the other side of the line of scrimmage every week, especially this week. So we've been very deliberate in how we've handled some of those situations.
Tyron had kind of a rough game, for him. What's your concern level with him?
I don't have concern with Tyron. He's an all-pro level player. He knows how to fix little technique things that come up. As I mentioned earlier, I don't think there's a guy in that offensive meeting room that doesn't feel like he could have done better on a couple of plays out there. So I believe that he'll get the necessary adjustments made, and we'll be off and roll.
Was it good to get Brees going? He had best game of the season.
We know what a dynamic playmaker Brees is. You guys have all seen it. He's electric when you give him a little bit of space, and it was awesome to see him play with that passion and joy. And hopefully, we can build on that and make some strides in that area.
Do Davante and Aaron bring plays with them that you might not have had that you might have to add or want to add?
Every week I ask the players for some input. I know I've only been in this role now for a handful of days, but we have always kind of stressed to the players, hey, bring us thoughts. It's something you went against this defensive coordinator and had some success. Bring us those thoughts, and we'll see if it fits in the game plan. I would anticipate that's no different with Davante, where he's able to look over at Aaron and say, remember, we did this against so-and-so. We can kind of relay on their experiences. But between the two of them, man, what a wealth of wisdom in the sport of football. So it's pretty cool to hear some of those conversations and maybe let that steer some thoughts along the way.
Along those lines, what is Hack's role now, and how involved is he? Because he was with those two, maybe telling you some stuff there.
Yeah. I can't reiterate strongly enough what an unbelievable man he is, and the way that he has just asked how he can serve and help in any way. He's been incredible for me. It's a personal experience that I will never forget, that a friend of mine would put down his pride and just find ways to help me do the best job that I can do. His role changes from day to day. Sometimes it's a little bit more involved with game planning, and sometimes it's a little bit more involved with the quarterback. So it's kind of a fluid role, but the cool thing about the role is he has a servant's heart, and he is doing so many wonderful things to help us get ready for this game.